Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and you notice there's a bunch of swatching stuff over here. We got glass pens and water to swish things off on, and artisanally bent letter openers and all that, because I have this thing to show you. This is the Colorverse Colorvent calendar for 2024, and this thing is kind of a beast. I just got it in the mail a couple of days ago. I opened up a door or two on a live stream recently, but I haven't opened most of these. You can see they're all intact. I'm fixing to open them up, do swatches for them and all that. I will show you in real fast sped up motion, probably with some jaunty music or something. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes. It might be a long one. We'll see. But then after that, we'll take a look at the colors and all that sort of thing and see like kind of what we've got going on here for these inks. And I'll come back and chat at you. But this is the first year that the Colorverse folks have done this Colorvent calendar, and I think they did a bang up job just from the outside. The art on here is gorgeous. I kind of hate to dig into these doors and wreck this art because it's real pretty. I think it's very heavy. If you're used to the Diamine one, which weighs in at about where is that thing? This weighs in at about a pound. It has like small plastic bottles of 12 mils. These are 15 mils, and they're glass bottles. So they're their typical 15 mil glass bottles in a couple of different styles, I think, but these same bottles. So these by themselves are fairly hefty, and there's 24 of them here. So you get 25 in the Diamine, 24 here. It also comes with a fairly high price tag to go along with its 3 pounds of inky goodness of $180. That was the original retail price, and that's what I paid for it from Atlas. So thanks very much to y'all who use that code Inkdependence at checkout to save some cash from your own orders, and also throw a little bit of affiliate cash my way. It helps me out buying stuff like this to show y'all. So I just noticed now that it's $153. That must be a fountain pen day sale, because that's this weekend is when I'm doing that, just to tell you when I'm doing that. But I think that might be part of the sale, but it's also sold out. So you might have to find this someplace else or add it to your wish list and hope they have more. I don't know what the deal is with this, but it is their first year, and they say, going to make the three most popular ones. There's like a QR code here I'm going to cover for you, but they're going to make the 3 most popular ones into full-size inks. So that's pretty cool. I think this is very neat, right? It says, pleased to announce the launch of our Christmas collection. Features 24 new colors in 15 ml bottles, each inspired by the universe. From December 1st to 24th, discover a special gift hidden behind each door. The gift will be presented in a Colorverse signature bottle. This festive season, let us bring joy to your days with these extraordinary inks, which allow you to create moments as unique and special as the universe itself. This is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm interested in this. Participating in the voting, a special surprise awaits you. I mean, I like that. So I'll do that. But so I'm covering the QR code. I'm not sure if that would like be my only vote. I don't know. So I don't want to show it. But you know, whatever. If you're going to do this, I don't vote for your favorites. I want to see these 3. Now, Diamine does make all of theirs into inks, but Colorverse already has a zillion inks. I mean, so does Diamine, but like, I guess they don't want to make all of them or commit to making all of them. We'll see how that goes in the future. Maybe it'll be the case that they're so popular they have to make all of them. I kind of think that's what happened with Diamine, but it's been years, so I might be mistaken about that. But this will be fun. Let's crack this open and see what we got. I'm gonna open the first one here, and then we're gonna switch over and do like some sped up stuff. But number 1's down here. When you open up this door, you have like a little thing here. Supergiant is a color inspired by supergiants, which are hot, bright stars. And then you have this little bottle here. So it's clearly a red. These are very nice, very nicely protected. These are all like wedged in there. And I said there are a couple of different types of bottles. So this is the usual one that I get, which has like a solid glass tail. This one has like the ink goes down all the way to the point, which is interesting. So they're a slightly different bottle. It's got a little 1 on the bottom. So that's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to open a whole bunch of these. This is not part of the set. This is from a long time ago. But I'm going to open a bunch of these, all of them, in fact, swatch them out, and then we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. So hang tight, enjoy some jaunty music and some very sped up Mike doing some swatching, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, that was a heck of a lot of swatching. It's been a little bit of time. I had some time to let these dry and all of that. I counted up some things. We'll have some stats at the end there. This is a really interesting set and very different, I think, from the Diamine sets that I have seen so far. So, check this out. All right, number one, of course, is that Super Giant that we had already seen. There's what Super Giant looks like on this card. Really pretty ink there, I think. Just a standard, nice, rich red. Number two is called Edge of Night. And Edge of Night is a little bit of a kind of a dusky blue here, which I think is pretty nice as well. These are all kind of space themes, which is cool. And I really like the little door that gives you some information. This is Moonlit Veil, which is a really pretty gray. I'm not sure if this is going to be super legible in a pen, but I think it'll be pretty good. This is a really interesting gray with a little bit of multi-chrome action, some edge shading, all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. Then next up, Sailing Stones, which is very pretty. I like this brown. I like a taupe ink, and I think this could be very cool. It kind of looks like an ink that I've been working on, unfortunately, but I like this one a lot. That's really neat. Next up, Rosette Nebula, which is a very nice rose color, as you can see there. And I mean, if you look at these inks so far, you're going to notice something, and that is that we haven't hit a glistening ink yet. These are all so far anyway, standard inks. So that's a big difference from the Diamine ones, which tend toward a lot of sheen and a whole lot of shimmer. So it's kind of interesting. Now, of course, here we have some sheen. Colorverse does a really nice job with sheen, especially some sheeny blues and blacks and that sort of thing. And this one is a really good, rich sort of blue blurple kind of color with a good amount of that bronzy sheen there. So Kilo Nova, which looks like it is. Then next up, we've got our very first shimmering ink. So this is day 7. We have a glistener right here. And this one's called Rover, which is kind of a grayish, brownish color. Definitely a taupe, or maybe actually this is probably the closest thing I've seen to sepia in quite a while, but with a nice bit of silver shimmer in there. Then next up, we've got Blue Moon on day 8, which is a really pretty, very kind of pale-ish blue. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure how... I don't know. This looks, I think, very readable. This is even better. I think this could look neat in the right kind of nib, but it might not be for every nib. Then next up, Red Horizon, which is another standard ink, but we do have a little bit of sheen here. You can see on the R there and also up here in this swatch, but that's where the ink is heaviest. In the main here, we don't really see much sheen, just a little bit here and there. So that's our second red for the series, and quite different from the first. Well, I guess this is kind of a red as well, this rosette, but much darker than that one. All right, this one right here is called Aquarius Whispers. I think that's a pretty cool color. I like this little bit of like greenish teal. I think it's kind of nice. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's more of a green than it's kind of a turquoise. I don't know. This is like in that area where you get like a lot of blues and also some greens, a little bit of a multi-chrome. I'm kind of curious what this one's going to look like from a pen as well, because some of this looks like it might be really interesting out of a wetter nib. So that's pretty cool. All right, this one, I don't know what to say this color is. This is Da Vinci Glow, which is definitely a multi-chrome. We've got, I don't know, sort of like a grayish, pale blue, purple situation going on there. We got some brownish tones in through the middle. This could be really interesting. I can't think of anything else like this off the top of my head, and so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have our first yellow for the set. This is Sunbeam, which is day 12, which I think is a very readable yellow. I'm digging this gold. It's a good gold color there, huh? Next up, we've got Neptune Occultation. Occultation? I'm not really sure what that means. I didn't read the doors on all of these because I had to get them swatched. So Neptune Occultation, which is sheeny, a little bit on the blurple side, definitely like a dark blue, kind of purpley sort of color there. We're going to put this down here, I suppose. Then next up, we have Pulsar Pulse, which I think is, this is a really cool ink. Check out this good base color, which is kind of, oh, kind of an aqua cobalt sort of thing. And then that bright red sheen, which I think is really neat. I like the way it kind of ripples here. That's a cool color, y'all. It's tough to make a blue with sheen that's, super interesting, and I think this is really interesting. I'm liking what they got going on here on day 14. Now this one, the Brinicles, I don't know what that is. I don't know what a Brinicles is, but I think it's a cool color anyway. This is another one of those sort of turquoisey colors. I guess Blue Moon is kind of in this vein, perhaps, and that sort of thing, but Brinicles is a really interesting sort of I don't know, like a blue sea glass or like a little bit of a turquoise. I don't know exactly how to define this one. A little bit of a multi-chrome on this one as well, which is neat. All right, now this one, I was swatching this. I'm like, oh, this is deep. This is called Eclipse Silence, and it is a black here. I think this is actually the only black color here in the set, and it is just a super rich, shiny black that actually was really nice with the very thin dip nib I was using for this. And I remember writing with it and being like, oh, this feels good. Like, it's just like, this is one of those inks that feels really good. So I'm looking forward to this. I do like a really good black, but it's tough to make a black that's exceptional. I think this is very, very good. All right, day 17, we have NCG 2264, which you'll have to look up. I don't know what that is either, but it's probably a star designation, although it could be a planetary or some other sort of designation, I suppose, as well. But this is a green. It's a little bit on the foresty, almost, but not quite swampy green side. Yeah, cool there for 17. Then what do we have here? Oh yeah, Morning Glow. This is another one of those interesting sort of multi-chrome inks like Da Vinci Glow and Moonlit Veil that has a whole bunch of different things going on. This one we have pink and gray. Kind of reminds me of the Sailor Yurimiku Seiki ink that I like so much. I don't know if I will like this one quite as much, but it's kind of hard to tell from a swatch sometimes. I think this is definitely interesting anyway for day 18, deep into December. Then we have our, I think, was this our second one? This is only our second glistening ink. There are not very many shimmery glistening inks in this set. They're kind of rare and far between. This one is the first full-on purple that we've had in the set. We've had a couple of kind of blurply inks. This is a full-on purple with blue and green shimmer in there, kind of bicolor. Looking at it from my angle, I'm seeing just blue. But looking at it here on the screen, I'm also seeing a lot of green. So might be a bicolor shimmer. Anyway, I think it's a good combo. I like that kind of interesting shimmer action from Milky Way. Then this one, this one's called White Hole. And when I saw the name of it, I was like, what are they going to do? What's that going to be? And I have to say, in person, the ink is a little bit different than I'm seeing on my screen. It's more of a pale bluish color in person, and it's looking more greenish on screen. I think the camera is picking up and accentuating some of the green tones. There are definitely green tones in here, especially up here around the edges and all that. Man, this is one I want to do chromatography on immediately because it's just so interesting. Like what is that even? What's going on here? But it looks great. And there's the bottle. When I saw that, I'm like, what color even is that? But it's kind of in the area of like Da Vinci Glow, a little bit lighter than that one perhaps. And, it's like some of these others. But I think Da Vinci Glow is as close as we get to this one. Then we have Giant Sunspot, which I managed to like get on my finger and then touch. So bad mic. But this one I thought was going to be a red because the label here is very red. But it's kind of more orange than red, I guess. It's definitely on that red sort of spectrum, I want to say, but kind of orangey red. Pretty darn cool. Like a big sunspot, you might say. Then our, what is this, third glistening of the series? Nope, not that one, this one. This is Portuguese Meteor, which is pretty cool. It's a sort of pale, pale aqua with a light blue shimmer, as you can see there in the bottle. Very light pearly shimmer in there, which I think comes across really well. This reminds me of a couple of other inks that I've seen, but I can't like put names to at the moment. But I think this one is a little bit darker than the ones I'm thinking of, and it will probably do more as just an ink without really relying on the shimmer so much. I like the way this looks a whole lot. This is pretty good, but this looks really nice. So just put this in a nice wet nib, and I think this would be really cool. All right. All right, second to last. This is day 23. This is Dante's Cosmology, which is this kind of like, I don't know, it's another one of those blurply, purpley blues, a blurple perhaps. This one's on the darker shade, more of a lilac than some of these other ones have been, but nonetheless, an interesting color there for sure. It's kind of velvety, that one. It makes me think, I don't know, it feels soft. I don't know how to explain that. Lastly, all right, our last day. This is our last glistening one. This is called Christmas Star. This is for December 24th. All right, there. And as you can see in there, lots and lots of shimmer. It's like a golden yellow shimmer, not just a regular gold shimmer, but kind of a golden yellow one. And then this is the ink it's in. And I think this ink is really nice. This is a good gold, like a little bright gold, unlike... Where's the other one? There's Sunbeam here, which is kind of a, I don't know, compared to this one, it's kind of mustardy actually, but this is an orangey, bright, yellowy gold. Very pretty, good amount of shimmer in there without being super overwhelming. I think that's really cool. That's a neat one. Generally, the ones from Diamine have tended to be really dark. In fact, last couple of years have been a very dark ink, and this one I think is extremely bright, and I like that. I think this is a nice change, and you know, there you go. It's always really pretty in this bottle. Now, a thing I wanted to point out about the bottles is that some of them are different from others. So this one, like I showed at the beginning, has this style that I'm more used to. Wait, this has a 1 on the bottom. Well, that's really interesting. So Super Giant goes all the way to the tail here, and it also has a 1 on it, but they're different. I wonder if these are hand blown or something like that, and that's why we have these differences. They have this 1. I'm not really sure. Huh. That's interesting, because not all of them have a 1. See, this one doesn't have anything on it. It has a 2. But it also goes down to the tail. I don't know what any of that signifies, but they are pretty neat. So, yeah, very cool. I think overall, this is a really interesting set. And if you're a person who has shied away, perhaps, from the Diamine color Inkvents because they have so darn many shimmers and intense sheens and things like that, I think this might be a good set for you. This only has a few that are very, very sheeny. Like this one right here, Pulsar Pulse has a little bit of sheen to it. There's a few others. There's like, what is this? 4 glistening, 20 regular. So if you don't like glistening inks, cool. There's hardly any of them in here. The yellows, only a couple of yellows, 3 greens, 9 blues, 4 reds, 4 grays, a brown, and a black. So that's the breakdown there, and that's a pretty good smattering. We could have had more, maybe a couple of more browns and maybe a black or something to sort of even out these. Maybe a couple more greens to even out that blue count, because that's kind of a lot of blues. But I will say I think the blues in here are all different enough from each other and from a bunch of other blues out there to you know, warrant this new colors. I think that's pretty neat. As for favorites, I don't know yet. I'm not ready to pick favorites in this thing just yet. I don't know. I'm like, there's so many possibilities for favorites that, you know, might be a sleeper. Like, is Eclipse Silence going to be a sleeper as an excellent black? It's just so rich and dark. We've got the Morning Glow here, which is kind of surprising. We got White Hole, which is totally weird and out of left field. A lot of interesting stuff here. I don't know. I'm gonna probably try to use some of these before I figure out which ones are my favorites. But let me know what you thought about this set down there in the comments. Thanks for watching this spoiler, and you know, let me know if you decided to get a Colorverse Colorvent this year, if they're still available anywhere. Otherwise, I will see you in another video very soon, and until then, peace out.